Hey everybody, NecroVMX here, and this is a two-part video. One thing that I want to talk about is I'm going to follow up on a kind of a rant video I did last week about GameStop and the Rock Band 2 game that I bought there, and just tell you how that all turned out. And I wanted to reply to some of the really strange comments I got on that, and also a GameCube collection update. First, let me talk about Rock Band 2 real quick. For those of you just joining us, or if you need a recap, and trust me, by the comments that I got last week, I do believe that I am dealing with some people who are, if not completely mentally disabled, then perhaps borderline. And I'm not saying that to be mean, and I'm not making fun of anybody, because I would never poke fun at the disabled. Some of my friends are disabled, not mentally, at least not that I can tell. I mean, I have a friend who's deaf, I have a friend who has no hands and no legs, and, there's my best friends right there. So I would never poke fun at people who are, disabled, because clearly it's not your fault, you were born that way. But, so I'm just going to slow it down for you guys, use a lot of small words, and just, take it easy on your brains, because obviously you can't handle it. So, like I said, I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because from the comments that I got on that video about the Fuck GameStop video, most of which I deleted, I do feel that I'm dealing with people whose IQs are not in the triple digits. So, that being said, what happened was I went to GameStop and I bought a Rock Band 2 game there, a used copy of it. And when I got home, and I put it in my PlayStation 2, and it did not work. And I tried it several times, and I got really pissed off, and I made a video about it, because that's the kind of thing that I do. And one of my subscribers, who I believe is, probably living in a group home somewhere, and it's pretty amazing that they have internet connections there, because I've worked in a couple of group homes, and I've taken care of people who were, suffered from mental retardation or autism or Fragile X syndrome and all sorts of different disorders, and usually they didn't have, such things as the internet, or even some of them didn't even have cable TV really. So it's pretty amazing that you happen to live in in one of those group homes that's lucky enough to have modern conveniences such as internet. So, obviously your family took really good care of you. I'm not going to name the person, because while I'm above making fun of people who are, disabled, not right in the head, not everybody is. And I don't want people to come after him and, call them all sorts of mean names. So, that being said, this person, obviously they had some sort of problem with my video. I don't think they understood a lot of the things that I was saying. And I could tell that they weren't all there, because they had a very immature take on things. A lot of immature things got said at me, and like I said, it doesn't bother me, because it's not like these are people that, are right in the head. It's not their fault. They were born that way. So that being said, the Rock Band 2 game did not work. Now, I want to address a couple of things that people said about it. Some people said that it was my PlayStation 2. Now, if you remember, you got to watch the whole video before you make comments. I proved that my PlayStation 2 was fully functional by playing a different game in it. Some people said that certain newer games that are on dual-layer discs will not work in the fat PlayStation 2. You would need the PS2 Slim. That is a lie, and obviously, people who are not all there mentally are going to believe these lies when they're told them, and I think it's very mean of the people that told them that, because you shouldn't take advantage of a mentally disabled like that. Games such as Rock Band 2 do work in a PlayStation 2 fat. The PS2 Slim, the only difference is the casing. There's no difference in the hardware capabilities at all. And many games newer than Rock Band 2 that I've bought certainly work in my PS2, such as, Guitar Hero 5. Some people didn't get, they were like, well, why doesn't he just bring it back? What's so hard about that? I also explained that in the video, that the GameStop that I bought it from, which is also, by the way, the nearest GameStop to me, is about 30 miles away. It's about a 40-minute drive. It's in a completely different state, and seeing as how I have a job and a life and everything, I only get to go into New York, once a week, and as I had gotten home and found that the game had not worked, it's not like I can just, take a 10-minute drive. I live in the country, guys. You guys got to remember that. I don't live in a big city where there's video game stores everywhere. I have to travel to buy things. So, that being said, normally I would only get to go on Saturdays, but today I had a day off. It's Friday. So I went over there and I returned it, and this is where the GameCube thing comes in, because they didn't have another copy of Rock Band 2, of course. I got this. Well, let me grab the camera and show you. This is Star Wars Jedi Outcast Jedi Knight 2, which is interesting. It's the only game published by LucasArts on the GameCube. There were other Star Wars games, but they weren't published by LucasArts. This is kind of a rarity. What did I spend on this? Where's the price? I got this for $30, which is actually a steal, not only because it's a very rare GameCube game, but also because I was returning the Rock Band 2 game, which I had spent something like $27, so I only had to actually pay $3 for this. So that was pretty cool. So that takes care of the GameCube portion of it. Then I went to Walmart, where I bought a new copy of Rock Band 2 for the PlayStation 2. That was another thing. People said, well, if this guy has a Wii and an Xbox 360, why would he still be playing on the PlayStation 2? Okay, first of all, unless you're a total graphics whore idiot who always has to only play on the newest system, there's nothing wrong with the PlayStation 2. I have loads of games for my PlayStation 2, and I always buy new games for PlayStation 2. As to why I wouldn't get Rock Band 2 for the Wii or the 360, I already have a controller for the PlayStation 2, and it cost me $60. Now, there were some comments like, this guy should get a better job so we could afford better equipment. To that, I only have to say fuck you. And I'm sorry if you're disabled, but my patience only goes so far. I have to say fuck you. So I apologize if I'm saying fuck you to somebody who's, autistic or whatever, or they got Asperger's syndrome, but I'm not perfect. I'm a flawed individual just like anybody else. So, yeah, fuck you. My job pays probably better than yours if you even have one, but I'm not going to get into that too much because, what's the difference? Even if I was a millionaire or a billionaire and I had all the money in the world, if I was the richest person in the world, that doesn't mean I'm going to just throw money at anything. If I have a perfectly good guitar controller for my PlayStation 2, then I'm going to get good use out of it. There's no reason to let me just get a whole new set of instruments and everything for Xbox 360 for some... Why would I do that?